Hello, creative writing people. I never know how to start these because I always sound really weird talking to myself. But anyway, today we're going to be doing a lesson on your final portfolio, which is something that you'll be working on kind of throughout the whole um, the whole semester. But I thought that next week and maybe the week after would be a good chance for you guys to actually start working on it because some of the things are you just have to collect them from people and then you can put them in your portfolio. And so when you will be seeing this, there will be one, maybe two videos here in that area. So, and you're watching one of them, obviously. So what you're going to do is you're going to go down here to Portfolio Assignment, and you're going to download the document. If this doesn't work, let me know. I can easily get you a copy and email it to you guys as well. But I just wanted it on here so that way you guys knew where it was. So, what you're going to do is you're going to be creating an electronic portfolio using, on here it says using PowerPoint. I'm actually switching it. So, I'm just going to cross this off. And you're actually going to be using a website called Wix. And I'm going to show you how to use that website later on. But just so you know that we're going to be actually going online and doing these. Back when, a couple years ago, when I started this assignment, and even when I did it in high school and college, and my brother did it in high school, they used PowerPoint. But now websites are so easy to build that it's the way to go. So we're going to be using Wix instead. There we go. And so you're going to need these 11 things on your website. So that way, after high school, whether you're going to go, and find a job right away, or you're going to go to a 2 year or a 4 year college, you have these things available, and that way you just have them. It's really convenient for people to go and look at them. One thing that I will also put on here will be the link to Miss Reich's website. For those of you who do not know who she is an English teacher, and she actually has her own website that has everything on it. And Mr. A and Mr. Q were both really impressed with her website, and that's kind of what set her apart from the other teachers who actually applied for that job. So having a website and having a nicely developed website will actually make everything will actually make you look more impressive and professional to future employers. And so when we're talking about a portfolio, the first thing you're going to need to have is a resume. And that's right there. We're going to go into more detail in resume later on. Um, I'm kind of waiting. Mrs. Reisner had like a whole week lesson on it for 11th grade, and I'm honestly thinking about just taking that and working with you guys on it. And so I have some videos and some examples and stuff like that, but I mean, building resumes is kind of, each person has their own opinion on how it should look like and the rules and stuff like that. So I think Mrs. Reisner has the thing from the acts from Iowa, actually, the government. And so I figure it'll be a good source. So we're gonna wait for that. That probably won't be until March or April. So just hold off on that one for right now. Okay. The next one, however, you can get from Mrs. Reisner right now. And what these are standardized test scores. And so you're gonna need a copy of your ACT, your Compass, or ASVAB test scores. And then the key part here is writing a brief analysis. When I did this last semester, everyone got a copy of one of their test scores, but they didn't write anything about it. And so, for ACT, so example, ACT, I got a 27 on my ACTs, and so I would write how in like English and math, I did really well, It got like in the 30s, but then in science, it kind of drug me down. And so just talking about your strengths and your weaknesses there would be good. And so this is one that I want you to do next week. I will send out another email or PowerPoint or whatever to let you guys know, but this is definitely one that I want you to work on getting in the next week or so, okay? And the same goes with the next one on our list, which is the letters of recommendation. In my experience in the past, it has always been nice just to have letters of recommendation just for in general things. Um, Sometimes people write them for very specific things, like for teaching or for, getting a specific job. But right now, you guys and girls just want letters of recommendation just for just whatever comes around, just so that way you can say, these people will definitely vouch for me. And so when you're asking people for letters of recommendation and you need three of them, you can get them from teachers, you can get them from bosses if you have jobs. Maybe if you do community service with a church or something like that, you can ask the church people to give you one. It's just kind of whoever you work with and whoever you like help volunteer for. Maybe you go to basic, and so maybe Mr. Griner could write you one. Maybe you work at Hometown Foods, and so you could get one there. Doug, you can also do this. You could ask one of the teachers here at North Tama to write you one. Just email them, and they can email you back. Or you could ask one at an old school as well. When they give it to you, you could ask them to give it to you electronically. That way, you have an electronic copy of it. But if they just want to give it to you like a piece of paper, we can scan it in and we can make it work. Okay? Oop, sorry. All right. So those are two things that I want you to work on right now. As we keep going down, I will show you the other one that I want you to work on as well, which is academics, which is actually next. So one thing that you can also do is you can get a transcript of your grades. So what you're going to need to do, and I'll email this out again, but I'm just letting you know right now, so maybe you can take notes, is for your transcript, you need to ask Mary in the main office. And so when you ask her, and you can email her too, and just say, "Hi, Mary, this is Adam Babanat, and I need an unofficial transcript, okay?" And so, it doesn't have to be an official one because those ones are usually printed out, and they usually have to put like a seal on them. And so, when you apply for like colleges and stuff like that, you might need it, but just to have a copy of your transcript is on hand is always positive. Sometimes colleges will be able to look off an unofficial one until they get the official one, and that could take a while depending on, the mail and circumstances and stuff like that. So for number 4, you want to talk to Mary and get your unofficial transcript. And number 2, you want to talk to Mrs. Reisner, okay? N-E-R, Reisner. Okay, so I would say starting, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then next week we have a 4-day week. Um, I would talk to these two people to get these things, and that way we can get them scanned. Once you get them, if you want to give them to me, I can easily scan them, or you can even scan them yourself on the copier. Most of you are at school to work. Doug, we might need to talk about this one. I'm wondering if you already have something like this since you have moved. But if not, then I can talk to Mrs. Reisner and we can get that for you, okay? So, Mary, unofficial transcript. Mrs. Reisner, copy of any test that you have. If you're taking the ACT, grab that one. Most of you, I think, took a Compass or a practice ACT, and so you could use that one. And if you're going into the military, you probably have an ASVAB test score somewhere. So I would get one of those. Okay? So those are those 3 things that I want you to work on this week. to continue going down, because next week's going to be kind of a work week for you guys. I'm going to give you back your writing assignments, and anything lower than a proficient, you're going to redo and then resubmit to me. And so, um, if you get that done really quickly, which some of you could, based on what I've read so far, then you work on this and you can work on the website. And then once we kind of get all that situated, then we will move on to our next assignment. So, continuing on, besides transcripts, you also need kind of examples of good schoolwork and bad schoolwork if you want to talk about it, but probably good schoolwork. So maybe just to showcase your strengths. So maybe you still have some stuff from last semester, or maybe the teacher still does. Most teachers keep stuff around, and so that way you could ask them for it. Maybe you're really good in math and science, so you want to showcase that. Maybe there was a test you got an A on, or maybe there was a paper you wrote for sociology that you thought that you did really well on, and you did. And so we can scan those in really easily, and then you'll be fine. So look for some schoolwork as well that you could use. And anytime you want to scan something in, you can ask me, and I'm more than happy to do it. Adam and Tiffany and Alex and Shelby, you are all school to work people, so you guys know how to scan stuff in. So you guys can go ahead and do that as well. Okay? Some other things that you could be working on, if you have time, life goals. And this kind of goes along with your letter to a grandchild, so you kind of already have an idea of what you want to talk about. So if you want to take that and kind of make it longer and bigger and better, you can. So life goals is a 5-paragraph essay where you need to explain your short-term and your long-term goals for the rest of your life. So I know you're in high school, I know you're seniors, but still just kind of your idea of what's going on right now. I mean, they'll probably change, but for right now, just kind of your thoughts, okay? The next one is the philosophy of life. What you need to do, you need to go online or go to the library and find some quotes that reflect how you live your life, and then who said that quote. Um, so, I think my brother did like a Tupac lyric or something like that when he did this, which makes no sense. But anyway, so you can do song lyrics, you can do famous people, you can even just do a saying that you've heard in everyday life and don't know who it is. Maybe look it up, find it. And then, and along with that, maybe just kind of a brief why you chose that. And so just give us a why. The next one is you as a community member. You need to prove that you have done some community work or volunteer work somewhere. And this can be as little, just whatever you've done. I'm trying to think on top of my head. Last semester, someone pretended to be a Santa for people, and so he had a picture of him dressed up as Santa. Just something small like that, and just some proof, either a photo or maybe you got like a T-shirt from it. Maybe you helped out with the NHS 5K or something like that, and you have so take a picture of your shirt and then use that or whatever you want to do. Okay. The next one is you in the working world. You need to have evidence that you have worked. Um, I know some of you don't have jobs outside of the school, but if you are a school to work right now, or you were in the past, maybe you could use that. And so just write a brief analysis of your job, what it does, and how it has affected you. So, I mean, I know some of you have more than one job. I know some of you might not be working, or you have worked in the past and you don't anymore. Use any of those things. Use a combination of them, okay? The next one, you as a family member, you need to have pictures of your family, who they are, and what they mean to you. So, I'm giving you plenty of time now to take pictures and put them on there, okay? The next one is reflections of school and life, just kind of a final reflection of your academic career in high school and your life so far. Minimum 5 paragraphs. Just think about it. Just actually give it some thought. I can overlook grammar, I can overlook spelling. if you actually, if I can tell that you actually thought about things. And then the last one is writing examples. So